I had friends who were already like big. And then when I talk to them, like I have friends in LA and Cali, right? And when I talk to them, it's like, yo, you did what I did. You know, it's there's like a formula. And people think that it's like, I have great music, I have great products. If you're an entrepreneur, that's all you need. No, there's so much that goes behind the scenes of how to make that thing successful that it's crazy. And that's why most people aren't successful. My foundation for working with someone is pretty much the same. First is building an appealing looking page, a brand that looks good, professional, that has a story that connects, that makes sense of what this person's trying to do.
Buenas, ¿cómo están? Hoy tenemos un episodio muy especial. Tenemos una persona que viene de los Estados Unidos y sí, vamos a hablar en inglés, pero tranquila, si no entendés inglés, vamos a poner los subtítulos y también contarte que este episodio, bueno, para nosotros es muy especial. Vamos a contar cómo nos conocimos con nuestro invitado y es, creo que una persona que muy interesante, muchas cosas nuevas, mucha innovación, va a ser muy entretenido, así que, bueno, prepárate, ponete atento y ahora le damos la bienvenida a Jules Lozada.
Sí.
Is correct? Okay, so now, Jules, thank you for being here. I know that you are not staying for too much time here in Paraguay, but can you tell people, before we talk about entrepreneurship, marketing, how many times have you been here in Paraguay? Do you like it? How you feel?
It's okay. It's my third time. Okay. No. First of all, thank you for that intro. I understood like 80% of that,
that's good.
Which is great. No, I love it here. I like it here. I like the people. I like the vibes. You know, it's very chill, tranqui.
Where are you from?
So, I'm from New Jersey, New York, that kind of clump, that little area. But yeah, I'm a Yankee, obviously. But yes. Yeah, I mean, dude, to answer your question, I've been here 3 times now in the last 6 months, I think. Wait, September is the first time I was here.
How do you came the first time?
The first time?
Yeah.
I came for a girl the first time. Oh. That's no more. Okay, this is where the personal stuff comes.
Yeah.
No, but then because of that, which is great, I ended up meeting like a bunch of new people, like really fast. And what I found was here in Paraguay, it's so easy to meet people because everyone's so nice and then become friends. You know what I mean? You want to tell them how we met? I think that would be an interesting story.
Yeah, that would be good. Okay, so I was on my friend, his name is Guillermo, birthday. And yeah, I was just chilling. And then I was going to buy a drink, I think. And this guy was trying to speak Spanish with the cashier, trying to buy something. And it was taking a little bit of time. And I was like, what's going on here?
I was struggling, okay?
Yeah. And I was like, what's going on? So yeah, then we start talking. I asked him if he needs help. And then I was trying to be his translator, you know? But yeah, that's how we met. Then we start talking. Then I find out he was a really nice guy. He's really friendly. So yeah, that's how we met.
And you know what's crazy? Because that was 1 week of stay. And I had like 2 more weeks left. And I know we were trying to connect for like the longest time. Mm-hmm. And then that was the only time we saw each other. My last visit. Right?
Yeah, that was
the only time. And then we just connected. We just stayed connected on Instagram. Yeah. And then you replied on my story when I came back here. Are you here? I was like, yeah.
Yeah, because at first I didn't know like what he was. Like we didn't talk about business. We didn't talk about like our jobs, our professionals, background. We were just 2 guys that meeting and having a nice time. Yeah, we just connect. And then I was like watching him, following him on Instagram, and bro, he was working on marketing. He was talking about marketing, you know, a lot of stuff about also personal development, personal brand.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm into that. So
yes, perfect.
And then we tried to connect, but we couldn't for I don't know what reason we couldn't. We were really busy.
Yeah.
We both had like really busy schedule, so we couldn't.
The time just didn't link, and then it was it was summertime.
Yeah,
it was here, you know, so San Bernardino. And,
also, So,
muchas fiestas. It's just a lot of things.
but right now we are here,
We're
and
here
I'm really
now.
grateful. I thank God that you're here because I think this episode will be epic.
Okay.
So,
I'm ready. Listo.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Sí.
You could describe yourself as a digital nomad, like you live traveling and you work from your computer, or you have to come back to the States to work sometimes.
No.
Or how is your lifestyle?
Okay, so just so you guys know a little bit more about me, I have a marketing business, obviously, but I also do music. I'm an artist, so I make my own music. I gig. I perform live.
When you say music, you're talking about
singer.
Singing.
Singer, a songwriter. I sing for churches and things like that. There was a church I sang at in Times Square. It's called Times Square Church. Awesome church, huge church. So I spend a lot of my time now traveling because one part of my music stuff in the last year has just been me traveling. Like I was in Jamaica, I was in Germany most recently, going to Ireland, and maybe Japan. We'll see how that goes. But it's a lot of that. So the cool thing about the business aspect is when you're your own boss, you can do that.
Of course.
And you can work whenever and wherever you want. And I like to say that I like to work on my phone. I'm just on my phone all the time. Not only because I'm a content creator, I make my own stuff and I have to be. And some of the money that I make is from partnerships and brand deals and stuff like that because of the following that I have. But also because I have clients, right? And I have to communicate with them. I get more clients. I have to get on sales calls and do all that, which is all remote. So all I really need is Wi-Fi. It's a little bit difficult here because I can't use my like cellular, but I can use WhatsApp and like FaceTime, right? So I just bought like an eSIM just for that. Yeah. But yeah, would you call me a nomad?
Digital nomad. I don't know if that's...
I've never heard that before.
No, I just translated in my mind from a term from Spanish, which is nómada digital.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know if that's a term in English.
I'm a digital nomad.
It's like a person that can
lives traveling.
Can work wherever he is. I mean, and he just needs his computer or his cell phone in this case.
Yeah.
Like,
whoa, I like that.
Yeah. So
my next job description.
It's an accurate description of what you do.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yes.
Pretty much.
And I'm pretty curious. I'm very curious about your music career.
Okay.
Is that a hobby or is that an actual income source for you?
How did it start? Also?
Yeah. So I'm glad you asked because this actually connects into how I started doing everything that I do.
Yeah.
Right. So if you want to get into that.
Of course.
Let's do it.
Okay, cool. So before the whole marketing thing, before the whole business thing, I've always wanted to be an artist, like a musician. Like I come from a family of singers and musicians and songwriters. You know, that's my family. I sing for church, that type of thing, you know. So it wasn't like a strange thing. Like it wasn't anything new. I always sang. I always played music.
Since a kid.
Since I was a kid. You'll probably see videos of me. I sometimes post when I was like 5 years old, singing karaoke somewhere. But that's like normal for me. So becoming like a musician and artist was my pursuit. My parents didn't like that. Not because they didn't think I could do it, but because, you know, when you come from a family of immigrants, you know, they came from another country to the States, and it's like all you want is your kid to go to school and graduate.
Go to college.
Go to college, so you feel safe, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what I did. I went to school. I graduated with a degree in psychology, which I didn't know would help me later. I don't use it at all. I kind of regret going to school. If you don't have to go to school, don't go to school, please. No. You're just in debt for no reason. So one of the things that led to this path of marketing was I needed marketing for my own music, right? And this was like 6 years ago. So it's like, okay, I'm starting to release music, I started doing cover songs on SoundCloud. You guys know that platform?
Yes.
SoundCloud. Back in the day, it was so popular. Like, that's where rappers, Post Malone started on SoundCloud and all these guys. So I was there posting covers, and it was successful. Like, I was getting millions and millions of streams on SoundCloud, like millions. To the point where, like, I live in a pretty small town in Jersey, and people would know, because I was in high school at the time, people would know me for that. So I'd get invited to perform these songs, these covers that I did. And that's how it would start. And then I started doing original music.
How old were you when this SoundCloud started?
So I was a freshman in high school. So I don't know how that works here for you, but freshman year high school, like 9th grade, I was 14.
Oh, really? Really young.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's when I started doing it.
It's like 2 years before finish the school.
No, we have 4 years of high school.
Oh, okay. So
Sí,
it's like
4 años.
if it's not the same as 9th grade, right?
It is 9th grade.
It is 9th grade.
Yeah,
Yeah.
'cause in high school there's 12.
Noveno grado.
I didn't know, like, I had to learn how to do all this, like record, use a microphone, what I used before was GarageBand in my iPad, Now I use my laptop and, like, Logic Pro and the fancy stuff, but I still don't know what I'm doing, okay? But before, it's like, I didn't know how to record, I didn't know how to do any of that, but I wanted to learn. So just on YouTube, what we call in the US is YouTube University, where you learn everything just... you get obsessed with it. Like, you get so obsessed that you keep searching and until you kind of learn how to do it. So that's how I started. It was garbage. Didn't sound good at all. I didn't know how to mix. I didn't know any of that. But I knew that I wanted to do something with music. I didn't know what. I didn't know if it was performing. I didn't know if it was being a recording artist. Back in the day, there was a lot of different things. So I didn't want to show my face. I didn't want my friends or family to know I was doing this, which is why put it on SoundCloud, which is why the name, if you guys didn't know, I have to name it, is my alias, my artist name is Pure Skies. You can search me up. There's a reason for that. I didn't want to use my real name because I didn't want anyone to know it was me. That's how it started. So stupid random name, makes no sense. Pure Skies, right? I wanted it to be so random and so not connected to me that no one would ever find out. So I could just post, no one judging me. Obviously, that didn't work because now people started to know it was me.
Man, and they really know you.
And now it's like a brand name, which is awesome. And now people know me. Like, my clients call me Skies.
Yeah,
like
100,000 followers.
Yeah.
More than 100,000 followers
Yeah.
on Instagram, man. So
yeah, it's crazy. And that's how it starts, man. Like, and this is how it ties into the whole marketing thing, because I started it spending money to build my personal brand. And then I had friends who were already, like, big. So I was like, how do they get there? And then when I talk to them, like, I have friends in LA and Cali, right? And when I talk to them, it's like, yo, you did what I did, there's like a formula. And people think that it's like, I have great music, I have great products. If you're an entrepreneur, that's all you need. No, there's so much that goes behind the scenes of how to make that thing successful that it's crazy. And that's why most people aren't successful. Like, if you see a lot of artists, all these guys who are actually good, but they don't have the business knowledge of, like, okay, how do I take this product and distribute it to people?
And when you asked, how can I do this for other people? How can I help them grow as well?
Mm-hmm.
Just like I did for myself.
Right.
You were thinking about helping other artists, or you were thinking already about helping other businesses?
So at first it was just other artists, because that's the knowledge that I had.
Of course.
Because, once you know, like, okay, I did it for myself, I can do it for you. It's that type of thing. And that's why when I get on calls with people, sometimes, listen, if you ever get on a call with me, you're either going to love me or you're going to hate me, because I'm going to tell you 100%. Like, hey, your content is not good. Like, you have to do something like this. It's either going to be like, oh, thanks for telling me, or like, yo, screw you, guy. Yeah. Why would you tell me that? I've had people hate me. I've had people who don't want to work with me anymore because I'm so
honest. Yeah,
honest.
Direct.
And I'm like, why am I going to waste your time? You're paying me for knowledge. I'm not going to sugarcoat and make you feel good when it sucks, That's just the reality. Somebody did that to me, and that's why I was able to fix it.
Yeah.
And you can't be so sensitive in this industry because it's hard. It's not easy, and you spend a lot of money. There's a lot of money to be made and to spend in not just social media, but just this whole content creation, marketing.
But I think business
world.
in general, because
Yeah.
us, for example, we have a lot of clients,
Yeah.
and sometimes they get angry. But it's like, okay, what is more important for you, your ego or your business?
There we go.
You know, because
There we go. Come on now.
if your ego is more important and you don't want a kid, a young guy like me, helping you, telling you, hey, this is wrong. I mean, this is not the way. We should do this way. This is the correct way. Or we can change here.
Yeah.
And it's probably not what you had on your mind,
Right.
but it can hit your ego, of course. But what is more important for you, your ego or your business?
Do you want me to tell you what you want to hear or what you actually need to hear?
Yeah.
And what I think, what I hate the most too is like, you hired me.
Yeah.
You paid me. Let me do what I need to do to make it good, you know? So it's like, it's one of those things.
At this timeline, you're only working with other artists,
Just
right?
other artists right now, just helping them build a brand that just looks better, more recognizable, just looks more appealing, you know? And the way I see, it might be shallow. I don't want to sound shallow, but in this day, it's 2025, people do look at your Instagram profile and judge you off of that. Especially if you say that you're this type of person.
Yeah.
Like if you're just a normal guy, then fine, right? Like you just post whatever you want. You're not trying to do anything. But if you tell me I'm an upcoming artist, I'm a business owner, I'm a this, I'm a that, I have the greatest product of all time, I have the greatest songs of all time.
You try to stand out.
And I freaking go pull up your Instagram and you have 80 followers and your last post has 3 likes and 2 of your posts were from your mom and your dad. Like, I'm not gonna take you very seriously. I'm not gonna, if I were a music industry executive, I'm not gonna be like, I'm gonna spend millions of dollars on you. I don't care how good your music is.
So that
Yeah.
was your service back then. You were helping people
Yeah.
grow their profiles so
Mhm.
that so they can get more social proof.
Yeah, I still do that now because the way I was telling you this earlier, David, like the way I start with my clients is pretty much the same through everybody. Like whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you're an artist, a musician, my foundation for working with someone is pretty much the same. Like first is building an appealing looking page,
Like a brand.
a brand that looks
Good.
professional, that has a story that
Connects.
connects, that makes sense of
Yeah.
what this person's trying to do, right? Despite if they actually have the fans or whatever, right? Like, listen, guys, if you guys don't know, like, you can fake your numbers on social media. It's not hard to do that. It's actually a great strategy if you don't already have numbers. But what you do after that is important. So my foundation is always the same, is helping people have something that is a tangible thing. Like, hey, this is who I am. Boom. And people can see. And they can follow along. They can, the same way you just said, like you were following me along with what I do, and that's how you knew I do what I do.
Yeah.
Is because of that. And because of that, I get clients, I get gigs, I get partnerships because I show that. I don't post random stuff just to post random stuff. So I help people with that foundation, right? So services like that, I always give it like 3-6 months to build something that's solid. Then we can get into the big boy stuff where it's like, all right, now you have a foundation, right? How do we scale this now? Like, how do we turn this into like actual buyers, actual fans who go pay and watch your shows? And this is where things get more expensive. Things get more complicated a little bit. But when you already have a foundation that has like a solid structure, looks good, content's actually great, has good music, good actual product, now it's just a matter of like distributing it. So through ads and creative marketing organically to get that rollout going. So the foundation for everything is pretty much the same. It's just building a brand that people can relate to.
And also, I think, I don't know if you agree with me, but in my
Yeah.
experience, growing a personal brand especially if you're just starting, I think it's a lot to do. People think it's all only about some tools, some hacks, but it's really about mindset also. Like you need to work on your mind. You need to create this consistent, this professionally mindset. It's not just your Instagram profile. It's your business.
Exactly.
It's your business. You need to treat it like it is, you know, and you need to be serious about it, and you need to dedicate the time that you need to be, you know. So I don't know if you agree with that, and in your experiences.
100%, because you need to be able to see it as something that it's not yet, right? Because if you see yourself as this next person or this next business owner or this next big thing, if you don't see the pathway, like, you have to be able to continue knowing that this is your goal over here, but you still have to go through this.
The steps before.
So that mindset of what you're saying is like, I know it's going to get here, you know? And this is where it's hard for most people, because they're spending money. They're spending money, sometimes money they might not really have, but they're spending money in hopes that it turns into something, right? So this is where really you have to have the strength to know, and the confidence to know that what you have is actually going to be worth something, right? As an entrepreneur, as an artist, like, you know that your music is somehow going to change your life. It's a delusional thing. At the end of the day, like, content creators, business owners, we are the most delusional people.
Yeah.
We're the craziest people, because we think,
because we believe we have it, but we don't have it yet.
We don't have it. And the reality is, numbers say most people are never going to have it. So we have to be so delusional to think that, okay, 1%, we're 1%.
Yeah, I'm gonna make it.
And
know?
it's the mindset. Here's the thing. It's the mindset that gets you there. Like, I'm not there. I want to get there still. I still have so much.
But I will one day.
I you know, with things how are things going on, like, because I knew for a fact, like, if I just keep doing this, if I just keep connecting and networking with people, it's only gonna get bigger, right? It's only, you can't network with people who know more than you or who have more than you and get less. It just mathematically doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So that's why I spend money to travel. I spend money, like, to go to LA to do, like, meetups and networking events. Like, it takes money to do that. But I know that I might not make the $500 back right now, my flights and my stay. But if I connect with one dude, one girl in this thing, and 2 years down the line, because we built such a solid connection, they open up an opportunity for me to make thousands more with these connections that they have. Like, that's worth it. Most people don't have that mindset.
Yeah, and also it's about investing on being a good person and connecting with people, and you enjoy it also.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's
part of the process.
Yeah. And I think people many times think like networking is a waste of time. You know,
And
it's like,
those are the people who are the 99%. That's the problem.
Exactly. Because this is they think they need to make money just today, and that's why they're selling their time, you know. But you need to know that networking, you know, getting to know another people also help you know yourself, discover what things you like. That's why you're here in Paraguay also, you know. and I learned that traveling like a lot, because I was in United States also, Argentina, Costa Rica, Brazil, and every travel, I mean, is you are evolving.
Yeah.
And you get to know people, like you said before, that will contribute to your character development.
Yeah, and your growth as a business too.
Also, of
yeah,
course.
and here's the thing, like, I've been here 3 times in Paraguay. And the one thing I just started to realize is you have a lot of content creators here. Like, I was at the port, the Asunción, like last week, and there were a bunch of people, especially girls, but there were a bunch of people with like that lighting equipment, like filming videos of their drinks and their foods. I'm like, all right, like, these guys are either influencers right now or aspiring to be influencers. And like, I see that everywhere here. Like, when I'm going to the gym, people are putting their phones down. I do this too, obviously, but people are putting their phones down, and making gym edits and stuff. Like, it's cool. So I didn't even know that there was a big demand here. So who knows? I might get clients here. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things where part of traveling, you might be going for a different reason, but it just, because of the people you connect with and the people that you meet, it kind of goes back to who you are as a character, right? Because you attract the people that you are.
And you need to have your mind open to new opportunities.
Yeah.
And I think that's beautiful.
And people are scared to do that.
Yeah.
That's the problem, you know? So that's kind of, networking is such a big part of the success of my company, because our CEO, Chris, he's like a networking genius, this guy, 10 million followers on Instagram, connected with everybody, but basically through like the real estate world and social media world. And there's a reason David was asking me, like, how can you supply? Because I told him we have serviced over 35,000 clients in the last 5-6 years. And right now we have over 10,000 active in our community. So, and all, mind you, everyone is at different levels, right? Somebody could be spending like $100 a month just starting off building their Instagram. And then other clients could be spending $100,000 a month building their business. So he was asking me, like, how can you supply all those services to so many people in like pretty much a short period of time? It's pretty short, right? 5 years is pretty short in terms of like that many people. And the reality is, like, we started off just doing social media, just Instagram. And then I was telling him, like, because the demand was real for like those artists who are on social media, then it turned into like music marketing. So then networking with people who can fill these orders. Now most of the things that we do are like in-house. We have things that we do that are in-house now. Before, obviously, how it would be any business owners, like, it starts off with like outsourcing someone. And then maybe we end up partnering with them, and then now they're part of our company, and then now it's in-house, right? So it kind of started that, but it built because of networking. So just so you guys know, like, we don't just do social media, we do PR, we do ads, we do what we call influencer marketing, which is we have access to over, I think, right now, 700 to 1 million influencers around the world at our disposal. So if we needed an influencer to like dance to your song, you're an artist, right? And you have a song, and you needed an influencers to make like a trendy dance, and this is your budget. We could be like, all right, we can get this, and this person to make a dance. This is what they charge.
I think we need to give some context to the audience, because
Yeah.
we were just speaking about your time when you were just working by yourself and only for artists. Now we're
Okay,
talking
I got
about
you.
And then you get to the
your
point that
agency times. Like,
That okay.
how
bueno.
did you go from working only for agents, for artists,
Artists, yeah.
to business.
to such a big agency that you work now?
So that was me. I was talking about me personally. We were already working with different people as a company. Me personally, the clients that I would get and target are people like me, because it's just easier to relate. As the years went by, obviously my clientele kind of grew in terms of diversity-wise of what they do, because I became more knowledgeable of like the other services that we offer that could be fit for not an artist but as an entrepreneur. So that's kind of when I was referring to just working with artists, I was just speaking about myself as me with the clients that I personally have, because we have over 150, 200 managers or people like me, you could say, that have their own clients and outsource and do that, and use Everyday Success Team as a fulfillment of orders and services.
When you say we, what's the name of the company?
Everyday Success Team, or EDST for short.
Everyday success.
Yeah. Based in Miami. That's where our offices are, is in Miami. It used to be in New York. Chris moved to Miami a couple years ago, so then the offices moved to Miami.
Chris is like the owner.
Yep, he's the CEO, Chris McInnes.
And when you met him, the EDST was already a thing, right?
Yeah, for like
or did you start it?
they just literally just started like less than a year in, something like that. Yeah. So at that point, it was very focused on just social media specifically, you know, as an artist, an entrepreneur, whatever, just building a platform, a brand that has value. And then it expanded to this whole thing based off just networks. And because we were talking about networking, so that's how our company expanded. It's just through networking. It's connecting with people who, hey, you have a bunch of clients. Your clients might need this. What if we partner? Your clients might need PR. Great. Now we have a bunch of PR guys who make money because we're partnered with them. And now we can provide a service to the clients that we already have.
Yeah, you connect like the needs of these people with the solution that these people have, and then you create like
PR, running ads on Facebook, running ads on Instagram. Now the influencers that I mentioned is because influencers make money off of other people, other creators.
And also you help influencers get to
exactly. So it's like a full circle thing. We help build them, and then now they can make money with us.
Yeah, and you help them make money. Yeah.
Exactly.
That's
so
good.
that's why I told David, I was like, our strategy is really like a creative marketing strategy, because you don't really hear about stuff like that. Because one, most agencies don't have the sources to do certain things. But the way we the way we got to where we are is because we're so different in what we do. It's such a weird approach, but obviously it works. But a lot of it wouldn't have worked if it wasn't for the connections and the networking.
To understand better who you are and what you do.
Yeah.
Let me look at your website right now.
Go for it.
And and it says, one-stop shop sales and marketing ecosystem.
Boom, pretty much.
What's that actually mean for a business owner?
So basically, simply put, whatever you would need, we do. Like you name it, we do it.
We'll help you.
Building a website, we do that. It's what's an ecosystem. Like literally, we have random people. I wouldn't say random; they're clients, but we have clients with like you would think it's the most random request, and it's like different things that don't really connect, but then we'd be able to package them a deal price-wise to do exactly what they would need. So we pride ourselves in being a one-stop shop. Like it's really confusing to explain because there's so much. Does that make sense? Probably not.
It's hard to understand.
No, I think
especially in the operative, how is that possible to maintain?
I know. That's the magic, isn't it, baby?
Yeah, that's why he says it's different. If anybody can do it,
there's a reason why other agencies
are not
are
doing
under
it.
us.
Yeah.
Your
a lot of
website?
agencies white label what we do.
Yes.
White label.
With you.
Yeah.
There's a lot of agencies, because listen, you can be a one-person marketing agency. You can make an LLC, it's an agency, it's just under me. There's a lot of them. What people don't understand is, I can't name drop names. I can't. But if you guys just understand the caliber of people that we work with, they're people that you know, not influencers.
I'm sure.
I'm talking about artists and like businesses that you know. I'm talking about musicians, like hearing them on the radio here.
Spotify. Instagram
like,
trends.
Yeah, like I'm talking about well-known industry people, Universal Records, Rock Nation. We've worked with these guys, you know. So it's. I know when people know things are being done behind the scenes for these people. You never really know how or who is behind the scenes, like how this person blew up, what strategy, who provided the who provided the service, right? You never know who got somebody on the radio, because that's a service. We can get you on the radio, by the way, if you want. So stuff like that, like that's why it's really confusing to explain, because you've never seen it before. It's just it's this whole another level of a mix of so many things that other agencies have to come through us to offer what we do. Like now we're evolving to AI stuff as a service. Nobody's ever done this. This is a new thing that our developers are literally developing right now for AI services. That now we have other people trying to not steal, but like outsource from us, you know? So we're very open to that. It's not really a big deal for us to partner with people because our margins are pretty great because we everything's in-house source, so margins are great for people who want to outsource. So yeah, the best way to explain it is a one-stop. What does it say? One-stop shop ecosystem.
One-stop shop sales and marketing ecosystem.
Ecosystem, yeah. Because we also have a systems thing where we if you're a business owner, you can manage your systems like through our back end, like your website, whatever. You can make sales through it. We have a whole system thing. I don't even know how that. I'm not even gonna go into that because I don't specialize in that. I know people who do, who focus on selling that. I focus more on working one-on-one with like creators.
Mm-hmm.
It's truly fascinating, but because your agency, of course, does what you do goes much beyond what the average agency here in Paraguay does.
And
average in US.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. So
number one agency in the world. That we even had a billboard in Times Square that said EDS, every discussing number one agency in the
Crazy. So I want to ask something. Going back, I don't know if you have something related to that, but going back to, because a lot of people that listen to this podcast or will watch this episode is probably entrepreneurs or content creator that are just starting, you know?
Yeah.
So what's one thing that most people get wrong about building a personal brand? That had experience working with a lot of clients.
What they get wrong?
Yeah. What's one thing most people get wrong about building a personal brand?
The most common thing is, I would say the most common thing is thinking that there is the right time to do it, to do something. Like, I'm going to wait until this is this, and then it'll be perfect. No, there's the best time you could have posted, the best time you could have started, the best time you could have done anything was yesterday. That's
a few years ago, probably.
Whenever you even thought about it, you should have just done it, you know? Because as time goes on, it's going to be harder. Your competition's only going to get bigger. You're not going to get smaller. You know, there's 2 billion users on Instagram alone, plus the 1 billion something on TikTok, right? So this is your competition. You know, these guys who are just posting these random dance videos, no matter how weird it is to you, they're your competition. That's just a reality. So the number one I see, and I always like instill in my clients' heads, is like, yo, don't overthink. You know, don't overthink the piece of content. Don't overthink starting anything. Like, if you have a new product, don't overthink about releasing it, you know? Obviously, don't be dumb either. Like, don't just release out of nowhere, but like, don't overthink to the point where you don't do it.
Yeah.
You know, and that's where most people, I would say that's where most people fail, because then 6 months go by, 12 months go by, and then they still didn't do it because they waited, and then they missed this perfect thing. Yeah. So now they're waiting for it.
And many times people just, I don't know, hide this judgment, or how do you say, they're afraid of judgment, of criticism and of people telling them, they look weird, what are you doing, you're stupid, and they just say like, I'm preparing for the right moment. But for us, it's yesterday. Every day. It's an everyday thing. Like, people can say that they're not afraid of doing, but deep down that's the one thing that is stopping you.
Yeah.
So just forget about that. Of course, like you said, if you don't like what you're doing, of course, don't do it. But if you are really confident about your product, your content, your idea, your business, man, stop wasting time and just start. You know, if you're really passionate about it, just do it, man. Just start. And I really agree with you.
And here's the thing, like, being consistent with it.
Yeah.
Consistency is always gonna trump, perfect timing or talent. Even you can be so talented, but if you're not consistent and working at it, consistency beats talent always. Obsession beats talent always. So I'm not talented in recording stuff. I know people who just know what they're doing, but because I was obsessive in learning it, I'm not great, but it got to the point where I was able to do it, and because of that, I started. So I got obsessed with it. So that's where most people fail, is they get scared. It's okay to be scared. Like, if you're not scared, then you're not a person pretty much.
Yeah, and if you are not scared of your dream, also your dream is not
It's too
big
small.
enough. Yeah, it's too small.
It's too small. So that's why I told you, like, when I started, it's just I didn't want people to see my face. You know, I didn't want them to know it was me. But I still found a way to start, you know. Find a way to do that. Just make sure you do something. Because waiting is going to be the worst thing you can do. You're waiting for... Time doesn't stop for anybody. You know what I mean?
Can you say, like, if you're an entrepreneur or
Yeah.
a content creator, a person that wants to, like, really have faith and have something really good to offer,
Value, yeah.
and you have the right mindset and you are consistent,
Yep.
I mean, 100%, you need to just keep doing it, work with the strategy, use the tools, use the community, networking, but you will do it.
You will do it in time. And this is where I said, like, consistency is always going to prevail. Consistency. Because it might take somebody 3 years and it might take somebody 8. But you'll get there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, sometimes it's just, sometimes you just connect with the right person at the right time, and that one person connects you with everyone else you need to connect with.
Yeah.
It's like what you call, like, I don't know if you know the analogy, like the spider web
Yeah,
analogy,
100%.
where, like, I know this guy, but this guy knows this guy who knows that guy, and that's how I know that guy.
Yeah.
You know?
And how do you connect?
Yeah, and then once you do that with, like, 10 people, those 10 people give you 10 people.
100 people.
That's 100 people plus another 10 people, each 100. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah. Okay, so this was really good. Thank you
Bueno.
again, Jules. I really appreciate it. We are gonna still talking about a lot of stuff, but I really want you to, if you are, of course, most of the people watching this is Paraguayan, go to the pure.skies account,
Instagram.
watch this guy, get to know him. He's really he's a really nice guy, and you will have a lot of fun, and also he sings really well. I think we didn't focus on that right now, but
It's okay.
I really like your singing.
Thank you.
And I think that a lot of artists here in Paraguay, if they contact you,
Yeah.
can you talk to them and say,
Listen,
hey, contact me?
I'm here for, like, the next 2 weeks. So, you know, feel free to...
Yeah.
Feel
If
free
you
to
are an
hit me up.
artist, si sos un artista, un cantante y querés un consejo, escribile, text him, DM him. Muchas gracias a todos por ver este video, espero que les haya gustado. Estoy muy contento. Así que bueno, muchas gracias otra vez, Jules. Gracias por venir. Espero que estés pasando bien en Paraguay, que tengas una buena estadía y seguramente vas a venir más veces. Así que también espero yo visitarte algún día en United States.
Yeah.
And you can be my tour guy.
Yo,
You
yeah,
know?
for sure.
Okay, thank you. Gracias.